I'm Danielle, and this was definitely a weird week for me, which you'll see. If you're ever in a bad mood, or you have a bad day at work, or you're kind of in that mental rut, this video is for you. I'll take you through a few days of my life. You'll witness some shenanigans, and you'll get some specific tips for how to turn that around, how to change your outlook. So definitely keep watching. I just want to say that the difference between my experience today and my day yesterday is like ridiculous. I mean, lately in my job, I've had to deal with a lot because of the pandemic, like have really hard conversations and just manage a lot of stuff that's just not fun, to be honest. I'll leave it at that. I was also just having trouble because I was looking for a new apartment, and there was one that was like kind of expensive, but I was like, hey, I'll go for it, I'll see it, and it was a piece of crap, to be honest. It was just falling apart, and I was like, how am I ever gonna find an apartment? And just feeling discouraged overall. That's how I ended my day yesterday. And today was just completely different. I just felt like today flowed more. I got stuff done. I was doing more of what I liked in my job, and I toured an apartment that I loved, and I sent in an application, and I'm so excited, and I was just like on cloud nine after that. I'm not gonna pretend like it just was all about what happened. Like, it wasn't just all about the events that occurred. Because actually late last night, I couldn't fall asleep, and so I journaled, and I journaled, and I journaled. Literally 6 like giant pages, like big pages. And I was just realizing how much this one thing in particular really mattered: perspective. And I felt like my perspective yesterday was crap. Like, I felt like I was just seeing the downside to everything and feeling like things that weren't working were gonna last forever, and that's just not the reality. I journaled, and I just thought about what kind of mindset do I wanna have, what kinds of things do I wanna really notice and pay attention to, and I don't think it's a total coincidence that today was so much better. The difference to me was shocking. Yesterday, the emails that were coming my way, the apartment search just felt pretty hopeless, and today it was like everything changed, and I just really feel like kind of the realizations and some of the letting go that I did last night really made the difference. And really, it comes down to the fact that when we're going through our day, how we're feeling and how we're showing up is gonna filter what our opinions about what's going on. And I just really realized that in the last 24 hours, really less than 24 hours, so I wanted to share. And yes, I am pumped for the new apartment. I move pretty much every year, and I put in my application, and I will find out in the next 48 hours if I'm good to go. I feel like one of the most important ways to actually be proactive in having a good mindset is to actually do the things that you know put you in a good headspace. So for me personally, this is talking to the people I love, it is exercising, listening to music, journaling, listening to podcasts, and as I've talked about many times before, going on walks. So surprise, surprise, that's what I'm about to do. I just got back from my walk a few minutes ago, and I'm just always in such a good place when I come back from just like being out in nature. And so I was just talking to my mom as I was walking back in and sort of making some spanakopita. Very specific, but there is something I actually wanted to say. And when it comes to like your outlook on life and perspective, there is one book in particular that if I did not mention, I would just be leaving you in the dark. Here it is. Man's Search for Meaning. This one's a classic. It's just like a cute little book, but it is wow. The author is a psychologist who survived the Holocaust, and he has some really powerful things to say about both his story and the meaning that we create in our lives and the things that happen to us. Here's how he put it. In between a stimulus and a response, there is a choice. So between that thing that happens and how we actually respond to the situation, we're deciding, what does this mean? What does this mean about me and about my life? So even in the concentration camp, he recognized that that's what was happening psychologically. And in like the simpler things that we deal with in daily life, like let's say at work, a customer who's like being really needy or annoying or something, we're deciding, what does this mean? So on those days when like inconvenient things happen, and in my head I'm like acting like it's the end of the world or it means that my life is so hard, these are the days where I try to remember, I try to remind myself either through journaling or just like when I have that moment to kind of sit and think, whether it's like in the car driving or anything like that. And I just think like, how am I choosing to interpret this situation? Like, what meaning am I making out of what's happening? Quick example from today. For some reason, I've like had insomnia over the last few days, and I seriously have just been wired with my eyes awake until like 4:30 in the morning and then woken up a few hours later. And I just like made the conscious effort not to react to it, not to be like, this means tomorrow's gonna be horrible. I just kind of was like, this means that I need to go to bed early tomorrow, or like start relaxing or stay away from screens before I go to bed. And just kind of like downplaying it so I didn't, you know, ramp up the drama in my head about just not getting that much sleep for a couple days. In every moment, in every situation, like we've got these little moments where we're making this decision, and to recognize that and to purposefully decide, that's the key. And seriously, if Viktor Frankl from this book can be thinking that way in the most horrid situation imaginable, then, you know, we can think that way when we're having a bad day at work and just want to see things from a new perspective. I'm clearly live from the roof right now, and it's a little cold, but it feels really nice. And I came out here this morning just to kind of mix things up. I think like habits are great, and having your routines is really great and grounding, but also like our brains are so used to that daily grind, that daily routine, that it's so important to do something differently. So I've obviously never done this before, and I just came out here to kind of switch things up, and I feel like it kind of changes your perspective when you do something different. So here I am. Good thing I'm a yoga instructor. Ugh, gotta be like a pretzel here. So what'd you think? This week definitely had its ups and downs, which you saw, but there are a few specific conclusions that I came to about your mindset and how to really change your outlook for the better. The first one was when I had a really good day and just the day before was absolutely terrible, and it was really about how I was showing up to that day, and that actually influenced what happened and how I responded to each situation. So how you show up really makes the difference. The second piece was when I was thinking about, okay, what do I actually need to do to put myself in a good headspace, and I went for a walk, you can actually build those things into your life and it will make it better. And the third one is seeing opportunities that are kind of like invisibly there. When I just climbed on the roof to start my morning right, there's all kinds of things that we can do that we don't realize just because we're so stuck in our routine and our habits, which can be good, but sometimes just get us in a rut, to be honest. So looking for those opportunities to switch things up and you know, have more unique experience. And we will leave it at that. Thank you so much for watching this video. Give it a thumbs up if this is the kind of video that you like to see. Please subscribe so that you can stay in the loop as I upload new videos, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!